welcome to WRPB and WRPB Studios. Okay, I've been around 30 years. You guys know me when I had 3 studios, and we built this studio around theater. I've reviewed hundreds of plays. Entertainment was always, no sports, entertainment was always our thing. You can see hundreds of restaurant reviews. But theater, for some reason, there was something about theater that was very attractive to me. To see somebody that can sing, dance, act, all without cuts and without second takes was amazing to me. Surely I could sing in the car with all the windows shut and no one around. With me is Rosemary Knight from Treasure Coast Theater.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we were talking prior. I reviewed hundreds of theaters and stuff, and plays. You have what we consider almost like a black box theater.
Correct.
And it affords you, like people say, well, it's a small theater,
Mm-hmm.
but it affords you to do things that big theaters cannot do.
Yes. When someone comes to see a show at our theater, it's very intimate.
Right.
And we have actually done shows that on Broadway or in other theaters have been done on massive stages with multi-level sets, and we've done it on our small stage. And I have had a number of people come up to me and say, I was really curious how you were going to do that, but it was so unique and different. One of the things we're really proud about is that we do think outside the box when we're staging our shows. We did August Osage County, which is a Tony Award-winning drama that is literally, it's supposed to be on a 4-story house. We did it on our little set. But we just had to be creative. You know, instead of being in the attic, we were on the stairs, on the front porch, or, we changed the setting from a bedroom to the living room. When you're blocking a show, you don't have to stick to the blocking. You have to stick to the dialogue, but you don't have to stick to the blocking. So we just changed it. But what made it so enjoyable to a lot of customers was that it was very intimate. They felt like they were right there with the family.
And I'm going to guess that there's probably not one bad seat in the house.
No, there is not. We have 5. When I tell people, all we have left is the back row, they're like, oh my God, I'm like, there's 5 rows, people. It's not bad.
You can reach your hand and touch the stage.
Exactly.
And I tell people, like people say, well, I want to be the front row. Being in the front row is always not the best thing.
But in our theater it is.
Is it?
Yes, because our stage is only 1 foot off the ground.
Okay.
Or 13 inches. And because our front row is somewhat set aside for handicap, we do have to allow for 4 wheelchairs. So that if we don't have wheelchairs, then we can sell to the general public. And because of all of the new requirements, the front row has to be at least 7 feet away from the stage.
Oh, okay.
So the front row is 7 feet from the stage. The stage is only 1 foot off the ground. So the front row actually has the best seats.
Well, when I explain to people, they say, well, why do you say that? I said, if it's a one-person performance, front row is fine. Mm-hmm. But when you want to be able to see everything, and a little further back, but you're already 7 feet.
Yes.
So you already got the distance.
There is no bad seat. The 5th row is great. The 1st row is great. There is no bad seat.
And there's something about an intimate theater that is different from a big, massive theater.
Correct.
Okay, so my question is, how long are you doing this?
Me personally, too long.
Around the theater industry.
If I give that away, I give away my age. So, since I was in high school, let's put it that way. But I majored in theater, switched my junior year, decided not to make it a career, but it decided to be very involved in community theater.
You can't get away from theater.
No, I just love theater.
Right, I get that.
And but I still had that education in theater, and have been doing community theater. I took a little time off when I was raising my children, and then started back with a couple of local theaters about 12, 13 years ago, and then decided I really wanted to do my own thing. I wanted the creative, I don't know if you want to say license, the flexibility.
Right.
To do shows that other theaters might not necessarily do. And I did. I did a few shows that, I had pitched to other theaters that they just didn't want to do it. Ironically, one of them was August Osage County because they thought, oh, we don't have a big enough stage.
Right. I think that people put themselves in a box.
Exactly.
Okay. And it's the same in, being in the entertainment industry, it's very similar because you have to think, even in a big theater, you have to think outside the box.
Correct.
To make it work.
Correct.
Like we have the studio here, sometimes we have 4 people. We have to figure out how to make it work that everybody fits in.
Exactly.
On the green screen, and so it's a science in itself.
And that's where, and I love being creative with shows and taking something that is supposed to be on a bigger stage and bringing it to a small stage. Last November, I directed A Few Good Men. Huge cast. And A Few Good Men is supposed to be in like 40 different locations. And the way we did that is with lighting. So we would, we'd spot there, we'd spot there, we'd spot there. And all we used for the set, we had a gray set, black floors, curtains, and we used tables and chairs. And that's all it was. But it was so powerful. I mean, everybody wore the correct costume. Right. So we had all the uniforms. But that was really the only thing that was correct. Everything else was just tables and chairs.
People who go to theater are an interesting group of people because most of the people that go to theater can see past the set.
Correct.
Okay, and take in the dialogue, the music if there's music, okay, and the kind of premise behind it. Like you could probably put on really simple, 12 Angry Men.
Okay. Yeah, we could.
Because it's the tables,
yes.
Okay, and it was like one of my favorites.
Yes.
I love that one.
Yeah.
But you stepped outside the box and put on stuff that is supposed to be in a 4-story house. That's really kind of cool, and I don't think that people understand what goes into putting
a lot. And the key is, you say people who enjoy theater, but the key to doing good theater is getting the people who don't necessarily know what goes into it to enjoy it and appreciate it and not expect the elaborate set. If you can do that, then you've done a good job.
Okay, so what was the hardest performance you've put on?
The hardest show to put on?
Yeah.
That's hard. Well, actually, right now we're doing Next to Normal.
Okay.
The musical Next to Normal, and it was hard. It was a challenge because that show, the music is very complicated, and it involves a lot of different settings. And we did the same thing. We made it very black box. So we're using actual black boxes to symbolize all the furniture and all the places. But to really figure out how we were going to do it was the challenge.
Right.
And I'd have to say that I think we've done a very good job.
Is finding talent hard? Because I could tell you now.
It is.
There's a lot of schools that put on plays.
Yes.
And there's some really good talent out there.
It's become harder. I don't know why, but it has become harder in the last few years. Although I will have to say we've been extremely lucky. Even if we just have the minimal number of people come out to auditions, right, they happen to be really good.
Well, we've come through a tough time.
Yes.
Okay. Did that take a lot of effect on the theater?
It did for a while.
Okay.
There were periods where people weren't coming to theater. I've seen a slight shift in what people are looking for. People aren't quite as willing to come see serious stuff as much. They want to see more comedies and musicals.
People love musicals.
And not necessarily, I mean, and I'm saying that although we're doing fairly well with Next to Normal, it is not a ha-ha fun, frilly musical. It's a pretty deep musical. But the really fun musicals sell out right away. The fun
Right.
comedies sell out right away. The other ones take a little longer to push.
What's the usual length of a run?
Oh, we run generally for 3 weekends. We do about 9 performances, a Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. And sometimes we add a performance if it's doing very well. We might add a Saturday matinee, but it's really hard to get the actors to commit to doubles because they are mostly volunteer.
Right.
We do give them a little stipend, but a very little one, just to help with gas. But to get them to commit, a lot of them have jobs where they can't.
Well, it goes back to people in the entertainment industry don't do it for money a lot of times.
No.
They do it for creativity.
Correct.
You can take a musician. Musicians are probably the worst business people you'll ever find because they don't care about business. They care about creating.
Correct.
Okay? And I think that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
We need money to eat, of course, but that's a whole nother story. But, okay, so how many performances do you put on a year?
Anywhere from 10 to 11 shows.
Do you have a season or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We actually just opened the season. Our season right now has been, because this is our second full year back
Right.
from being off for a year and a half, but we've been opening our seasons in July and closing in June. So this is our second show of the season. We opened the season with Neil Simon's Lost in Yonkers, which was, again, it's not a frilly comedy, but it's a comedy, but it has enough depth, and people loved it.
Right. Well,
Neil
and I'm sure
Simon.
you sold it out.
Yeah, well, from most of the
Right.
performances.
Well, yeah, but that's Neil Simon.
Yes,
so.
exactly. Right now we're doing Next to Normal, which it's a great show, and I need to plug it because it is a great show, amazing talent. It's very deep, very powerful, amazing music. It won several Tonys, and it won the Pulitzer Prize for drama, one of only 10 musicals to do that. And that's running through next weekend.
Okay.
And then in September, we're doing the comedy Crossing Delancey,
Okay.
which is well known as a movie. We're doing One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in November.
Oh, wow.
We're doing a holiday show in December. And then we have, we end in June. We have another comedy, Nana's Naughty Knickers, which is a farce. A kind of emotional tribute to Valentine's Day called Love Letters in February, which is only 2 weekends. Then we're doing another big musical, The Bridges of Madison County,
Oh my God,
in
yeah.
March. We're doing a comedy, The Cemetery Club. I know it doesn't sound like a comedy, but it is. In April. We're doing a musical review in May, and then finishing up with another Neil Simon, Barefoot in the Park.
Oh, wow.
So,
That's a great season.
yes, it is.
You were talking about plays that are kind of deep.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being a lot younger, and I went to see a play called Equus.
Mm-hmm. That's very deep.
That is probably the deepest play I've ever
Mm-hmm.
seen. My favorites are Pippin, Jesus Christ Superstar, and there's something. I've seen some of these plays a lot, what's just being old is killing me.
What's it about?
Who stars in Jesus Christ Superstar? Been in forever.
Oh my God.
Ted Neely.
Okay.
So Ted Neely and I have become friends over
Oh,
the years.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I call him, we talk and stuff, and it's funny because he's considerably older than Jesus was, and he still plays the part. A little slower than normal, than he used to, but he still got it.
I think I saw him. I've seen several. I love Andrew Lloyd Webber's
Okay.
shows, and I saw several productions
So
of
Jesus
that.
Christ Superstar, Pippin, just two of my favorites because of the music. It's funny because I have the DVD of Jesus Christ Superstar, and I played it so much that my wife got so frustrated because I have a signed poster and whatever. So she took the poster, she glued the DVD, it was the DVD, to the poster, so I wouldn't watch it anymore.
Oh my
And it's
God.
part of my signed thing. But theater is just utterly, utterly amazing. And I just think that the people that get involved are pretty amazing. I dealt with the Carbonell Awards at some point in time, which is down south. And again, I've been to small theaters, black box, to Kravitz and big theaters, and they each have a place in somebody who enjoys theater. And you have to be, you should be somebody who takes the time to go to each kind of theater to get the different feel,
Exactly.
okay, of what these people have to do. Remember, you think, oh, small theater, easy, but no, because the actors have to do their movements in a space that it normally would have been done in a big
Correct.
stage.
Correct.
Now they got to fit. You did ones with large ensemble casts, and they're going to get in each other's ways. They use it.
Well, they don't so much get in each other's way on stage, but backstage.
And that's a whole nother story. The backstage stuff that I've heard is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting tough for time. How do people find you? You have a phone number?
Yes, it's 772-418-2439. We also have a website,
Okay.
treasurecoasttheater.com, and theater is THRE, not ER.
The correct way to spell it.
Correct.
Okay. When you're around theater, it's the way you always want to spell it.
Exactly.
I don't know why.
We also have a Facebook page and an Instagram account.
Okay, so my next question is the theater rentable?
We have rented it during the day,
Right.
but it's hard to rent for events simply because if we're not performing, we're rehearsing.
Right.
So I have rented it for meetings like earlier in the day, or from 6 to 8 or whatever, or 5 to 7. But if for other people to perform, no,
Okay.
because we just don't have the space or time.
You got to check them out. There's plenty of parking, so that's not an issue. And it's a good space. I've been in the space. I haven't seen any plays there yet, but
Well,
I've
you have
been.
to come and see 'em.
Yeah, I've been in the space, and it's a cool little space. And you got to look past how many people are there, because you're not there for those people. You're there for those people who are entertaining you. Rosemary, I want to thank you for coming on.
Well, thank
I
you
want
for
to thank you
having
for
me.
everything you do. Everybody, check them out. Theater is a great, great night. One of the things we didn't discuss is the problem with theater is that it's kind of priced a lot of people out.
Good thing to say, because we are very reasonable.
Right.
Our regular tickets, our non-musical tickets, are $25. If you come with a group of 10 or more, you save $3. If you're a student with ID, it's only $15. You can get a season ticket package with just 5 shows, and you save $5. Now, our musicals are a little more money. The musical we're doing right now is $35, and the one in the spring is $40. But that is still a lot cheaper than going even to the Kravitz with $200 tickets.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that spending $200 for a show is silly, because theater is theater. You got to enjoy theater across the board.
And if I could just say, one of the things we take a lot of pride in is that we really look for good talent. And I have been told by a number of patrons that it was Broadway quality. And I take pride in that
Should.
we really work hard to get the right people. Even if it's just the people who came out, if they weren't right, we would keep looking.
You expect to expand?
Not right now.
Or are you just happy where you're
Right
at?
now, I'm happy with where we are. I mean, someday, maybe, but right now, we're doing just fine.
Everybody, get out to the theater. It's a great night out. It's very reasonable, and you'll have a great time. I mean, it's really great to go to sit and watch somebody else perform and entertain you. With that, have a great day. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Thank you.